You know, the presence of these rappers proves that the Democrats don't think highly of the intelligence of the voting class of Black Americans at all. They think that the voting class of Black Americans is at the level of Glorilla, Cardi B, Eminem, Quavo. Black Americans who are able to vote, who understand and follow politics, should all be highly offended by the presence, the bringing of these entertainers out here. These puppets, these degenerates. Now, I also understand Black Americans had nothing to do with these entertainers being here. But this is an example of the Democrats saying, hey, Black Americans, these are your leaders. Now, we've been saying this for years. This proves it. They view these rappers and R&B singers as the leaders of Black America. And we should reject that. I don't even care if you're Democrat. You should be offended and you should not vote for the Democrats. I have never seen it this bad. And I guess recently they brought out Glorilla, right? Cardi B. All these puppet degenerate rappers come out here twerking and booty popping. Do y'all know how offensive? No, of course not. Throwing out satanic hand gestures. This is disrespectful. This is disrespectful. And if you don't feel disrespected by this, you have no business voting. You have no business involved in anything that adults engage in at all. This is their way of saying to Black Americans, we believe you all are still plantation minded. Bring out these, oh my goodness. What does it take to be offended? And this is largely the voting bloc for Kamala Harris. These old, mostly black women, old black women. You got some old black men too, supporting this nonsense, this disrespectful, offensive plantation coonery. All they got to do is make you laugh, do some dancing and booty popping. That's what they believe gets your vote. Not policies. That's too sophisticated for us. They believe actually making, look, if you want to do an outreach to Black Americans, why not do it based on the most popular political demand? And without question, it's reparations. Why not offer Black Americans reparations in some form? It could be an additional $500 on your paycheck. It could come around only on tax season. Right? In some way, why not offer Black Americans reparations? They've been throwing money at all other groups except us. So it won't be nothing new. It's not something that they're not currently engaged in already, just giving citizens and non-citizens money. Our money. For decades, y'all been using my money, giving it to other people for reparations and otherwise. No, they still feel like the only thing they're willing to do for Black Americans is give them a performance by Quavo, a degenerate speech by Eminem. Highly disrespectful. Why would you choose Eminem, of all people, to come out in Detroit? And again, look at the primary black voters for the Democrats. It's mostly black women. Almost every black person you see in these crowds, just look around them. Almost every black person is a black woman. Boy, that is sad. So what does that tell you? Who is primarily the plantation-minded people among us? I was saying this years ago, and I was getting comments left on my videos saying, oh, you hate black women, bashing black women. You're always talking negative of black women. Where here you see the proof. Y'all acting it out. Not only is Kamala Harris is insanely incompetent. As a president, she is worthless. As a politician, this woman sounds under the influence when she talks. And then they disrespect you on top of her being an airhead. They disrespect you by bringing these degenerate rappers out here booty popping. You support the Democrats at this point. You're plantation minded. So who are the primary plantation minded people? And when you find black men supporting Kamala as president, they're usually moist. They're usually sassy and moist. The Democrats are extremely disrespectful to black people. They have been so disrespectful that it's been difficult for me to even speak on it. Just not knowing where to start. Where do you start? And they just don't stop. And again, look at the audience. Quite often, it's mostly white people. Quite often, it's mostly white people. Now, what is y'all's motivation voting for Kamala? Is it abortion rights? Because that's the only thing Kamala brings up when it comes to policies for black Americans. Only thing they talk about is abortion. And then they get these men of so-called black men in this scripted DNC performance. Men talking about, well, we need to protect women's reproductive rights. Man, ain't no black man thinking about no reproductive rights. So they fighting for the right to abort their babies. They use abortion as a form of birth control. Come out, weave-headed, booty-popping, throwing up devil signs. And y'all still ain't offended? What does it take to offend at least 90% of the black female population? What does it take to offend all black Democrats who are here getting ready to vote for Kamala? What does it take for you to feel disrespected? And to see so many older people out here, the older you get, the more receptive you should be to the degeneracy of these entertainers that they shaped, molded, and fashioned and shoved out to be our cultural leaders. Single black mothers made the decision to brainwash generations of black people, both males and females, on these puppets, these occultic, satanic, degenerate puppets that are 100% controlled by outside entities, non-black American handlers, non-black American everything, ideology, everything. Why are y'all so aligned with foreigners? How can you possibly allow other people to give our culture to us, to create it, shape it, and give it to her. This is what I'm talking about. Anything that the system puts on the TV, y'all accept it as our culture. In your mind, you think it's just, oh, just everyday black people. No. And it's impossible to disrespect them. Listen, we should vote in this election anybody except Kamala. We should make it a point to make sure the Democrats lose every election. Because this is disgusting. And for even one black person to still promote or support the Democratic Party, that is unbelievable, in my opinion. You need help. You need counseling if you're still supporting these degenerative, disrespectful people. They would not do this to any other group. They're not going to bring nobody out there to start clapping their butt cheeks, performing, talking about degenerative stuff. They're not going to do this with other people. They do it with us because they know that most of the households is headed by single black mothers. That's why black men right now are looked at as Trump supporting enemies, because they know this type of degeneracy does not work on black men in general. Black men are far less receptive to this type of disrespect. Black men in general are more receptive to disrespect like this than black women. And I don't know how. Very, very resilient, even though many of these black men were raised by single mothers. This is mad disrespectful. And this will only be okay in your mind if you accept this as our culture, as our cultural leaders. Pathetic. And what is wrong with this? The woman got fake. It looks like she got fake body parts. Reproductive rights. And you got black women all over the internet, TikTok, wishing death on black men for not voting for Kamala. So there's a lot that's coming to the surface here. If I were y'all, I would vote for Trump. Kamala is a globalist. Open borders through and through. The more immigrants that they have come into this country, the less likely it is we get reparations. We should be dead set against the Democrats and the immigration that we're dealing with right now. Trump is a nationalist. But let me tell you, I believe immigration is going to be an issue no matter who's president. But if you're going to vote, no black person should be voting. No person, period, should be voting for Kamala. That really shows something ain't right. I don't care. I don't care with nobody. Nope. This woman is insane. The whole Democratic Party is insane and just demonic as all get up. And they're trying to destroy this country. Y'all need to wake up.